On the previous episode, our party went to investigate the mystery, meeting strange French suit wearing cook Steve DiCaprio, the source of the tuna fish sandwiches that seem to be linked to the mysterious actions of others, and then they went underground where they didn't necessarily find any major clues. Let's see if they can wrap up this mystery, though, in this third part of the adventure. So our four heroes are coming up from the underground basement. How is Bekhee doing?
Bekhee is doing perfectly fine. Absolutely normal.
And Sabretooth Sam.
Sabretooth Sam is doing pretty okay. Sabretooth Sam is, however, holding on to the back of our dad friend's shirt because things are about to get real spooky and he knows it.
And Paulette.
Paulette has been drinking consistently, and it's very hot out.
And James.
James is doing all right because I think nothing is more frightening than starting a family.
And so where are you heading now?
I think that, so what we know is that there was some tuna fish that was corrupted, and it was corrupted by some nanotechnology machine nonsense that messed with people's brains. It had nothing to do with the underground, but it might have something to do with the planet itself and why why this is a apocalypse show to begin with.
I want to use my data point, if I could, from the first roll that I made. I know that the people who are causing all the disruption, the, let's say, upper crust, vanished or not here anymore after everything opened up. Did they perhaps have a stronghold or a citadel that they worked their nefarious machinations from? Mech-nations?
You mean the people behind the show?
Not behind the show, behind the dystopia.
The people who were in charge of the various factions of the dystopia.
Yeah. The other NPCs that you mentioned earlier on, 2 episodes ago.
Roll me a assessment and add on your influence.
3 plus 1 is 4 plus 9, 13.
Okay, so you find Scorpion there, because it's Scorpion's job to watch the docks, and he got back from wherever he came, and he said, "Well, how's your investigation going?"
Well, we got a couple leads on it, but we don't have anything super concrete. We know that there's tuna fish that's been infected with some kind of virus that makes people forget things, but we don't have a clue where it came from.
Interesting. Well, I mean, our fish source is coming from a few various companies. I got the records right here. And he presents you the records of people who've delivered groceries and food here.
Yeah, so this is what I was looking for. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong voice.
Hurry up and bring your jukebox money!
The Love Shack is a little... I'm sorry.
I went straight into Squiddly Diddly by accident.
You gotta bring it back.
Yeah. Saber-tooth tiger. There we go. These are what I was looking for earlier. And then I used my big cat paws to look through them. I pulled some glasses out of nowhere and got
So what you're looking at is there's a lot of kind of generic supplies that are sent because the diner car is not the only restaurant in the town.
Oh, sure.
But you see that Steve DiCaprio the French chef who always wears a suit and has a French accent. He seems to get a lot of specialty items in. Looks like he tries to get fresh stuff a lot more, even though it costs more.
Mm-hmm.
And the other people here don't really care about that as much. Some of them do get, like, similar things. Like, it looks like Steve's blue plate special is usually what he's trying to get rid of.
So, when was the last order with tuna?
The last order of tuna was about 2 weeks back.
Yeah, and who provided that tuna? Do we know? Is there a place?
There have been multiple places that have delivered the tuna. Like here, it's generally more of a shipping manifest.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to figure out who provided it, I guess.
It's been from different planets that are able to produce supplies to send out. So there's like Earth 1872, Earth 3467.
Are any of these suspicious or things I would know, I guess?
None of these seem to be suspicious. Like, some of these, it's like, oh yeah, that's a world where they just do cooking shows all the time, and it's all about aesthetics.
Mm-hmm.
So these seem to be pretty standard worlds.
Yeah, so that one planet is just the Netflix cooking show.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Got it. I got it. I think I'm trying to make sense of these manifests and try to figure out where this tuna's coming from, I guess.
The tuna is coming from different sources, but it looks like about the shipments have been coming in regularly about every 2 weeks, and every 2 weeks it looks like something bad has happened.
Yes. Okay. So I'm like, well, I found your culprit. It's the tuna, which is a shame because seafood's never done me wrong. And he's going to point this out to the sheriff and be like, the solution's simple. Don't get the fish.
Well, I mean, we're getting a fresh shipment in a few minutes, and he starts waving in a new shipping freighter that is coming down to land on the planet.
Okay.
If you want to investigate, you're more than welcome.
Well, I'll get right on that.
And so it ends up landing.
Mm-hmm. Who's driving this, I guess?
Who is on the ship?
Yeah.
It looks like a knockoff Star Wars astromech who is piloting this ship.
Oh.
Is that the only person on the ship, or are there like other people?
There's like two generic handsome people who are actively actually like lifting things off the ship and carrying it, and then there's a delivery man.
Is there a possibility that this stuff has been getting like contaminated during the transportation?
Do you want to go and see if you can get them to let you investigate it?
I may not be the best person to do this. Maybe
James.
Yeah, maybe James. It would be the best person, especially if they're like Star Warsy. I don't know if flamboyant.
All Star Wars characters love dads.
Well, I think America's favorite couple, Bekhee, the girl, and James, the dad, should go check things out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The will they, won't they, on if Bekhee is going to sacrifice James as part of a blood ritual is America's top question right now.
There are so many AO3s about it.
Yeah, no, it's James's daughter that's usually the one who's the person of sacrifice.
Yeah, it's just wait for Sweeps Week.
It really depends on who's writing the fiction.
Romy influence, James.
I just barely eked that one out. 5 + 2 = 7.
Okay. So you are trying to basically get them to give you this, and the astromech knockoff comes out and is like, which only you are able to understand, James, because you have the linguist ability.
Yup.
Thanks, origin skill. And you understand that the astromech here is saying, hey, if you're going to try and look at my stuff, you either need to pay me or you have to fight.
Well, James holds his hands up and says, I'm not, in beep beep boop boop, in his beep beep boop 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 language. Listen, I'm not here to fight anyone because violence never solves anything. I just saw, your guys struggling, and I figured I'd be a good neighbor and lend a hand by helping them carry the shipment inside.
Roll plus influence again.
All right. It's free labor. Another one I just eked out. 6 plus 2 is 8.
Yeah, he's going to resist. You were unable to convince this droid.
While he's talking to the droid, I want to try to sneak by using my infiltration kit to do cartoon sneaking on my tippy toes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, like hands to the chest, on the tips of my toes.
Roll plus physique.
Okay.
Everybody can obviously see this, but it's just like, because it's sneaky, we have to look away.
Yeah, that's just how it works. Well, if it's plus physique, I got a 12.
Yeah, so you're able to sneak over to the fish.
Uh-huh.
And roll me a quick expertise, and I'll give you a +1 because you've investigated this fish before to see if you can find.
That is 13.
This fish, this tuna fish specifically, does not have the digital infection on it.
Oh. I give a thumbs up from behind the astromech to James. And then I'm gonna try to sneak back.
Okay.
Yep, you get back without any problem.
All
yeah.
right. And like while you were sneaking, James is like, "Wow, heck of a vehicle you got here. What kind of engine?" You know, he's like trying to do dad car talk. So he wraps up that conversation and he tries to impart wisdom. He opens up his like chicken soup for the robot soul, and and he reads like just a little paragraph that he's underlined in it, and then joins the rest of the group.
All right. So as you rejoin the group, you pass on the information that it doesn't actually seem to be infected with the virus.
Yeah. So someone between there and now was infecting it. We just gotta figure out who.
The corruption lives on the land.
And can I get a look at the humans making deliveries?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything like off about them or?
Not really, they're generic, handsome people.
Okay.
Generic handsome people.
Yeah, as a generic handsome person myself, though, that usually belies something sinister behind the thing. So I guess like away from the astromech and like as they're bringing the boxes into the store, I catch up with them and say, "Hey guys, need any help?"
Oh no, we're kind of good right now. Yeah, I have a very high voice for whatever reason.
Perfectly normal.
It's Tommy and Timmy from our last
They've come back as hot dudes.
Okay, not gonna lie, that was actually a plot point in one of the previous 3000 Brigade shows I did, where like, Tom Nook showed up and he was like, "You guys owe me money and everybody works for me, even my nephews," and like the nephews did a little Chippendales dance. They weren't actually children, they were adults, but yeah, no, the 3000 Brigade. Hopefully we put on a show this year. Anyway, I say, you remind me a lot of my biracial adopted son, Harry, who's like gay, but in a very chaste way.
Yeah, he's gay and asexual.
Yeah, so we get the bonus points for being nice to him, but we don't actually have to show anything that we have to conflict with. Trying to hit all the things here.
Yeah.
And I remember when I first moved, when we moved to our house, I'm just kind of going through some sort of like generic story where I was like, oh, it was, so hard to move to a new place, sport, but sometimes changes are needed. And while he's trying to lull them into some kind of like numbness so we can just do more investigations.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Listen, we've got to get this fish in, otherwise it's going to spoil a lot sooner than it normally does.
How long does it take to spoil?
I mean, usually if it's refrigerated, it spoils after about a week and a half, give or take a few days. If it takes longer than that, or if it's going to be out here, it could spoil in a matter of hours.
Oh, yeah, well, let me help you bring them into the fridge there, partner.
And why is that?
Because it's very hot out here.
Well, figured that much.
Yeah, so, so, like, we're dropping it off at the diner, and is there, like, a refrigerator back here we can,
Yeah, there is a very fancy-looking refrigerator. Oh, hello, welcome back to the restaurant.
How fancy are we talking?
Like, it's one of those that will, like, tell you if things are going bad or not. Like, it's a smart fridge.
Can I investigate the fridge?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you trying to make a sandwich?
Yeah. Well, I'm doing that while investigating, and I'm just like, I want some of this and a little bit of this, and this will be
roll
nice.
interface.
Okay. Oh, well.
Uh-oh.
I don't think I got a good roll. In fact, I got a 5.
ugh.
You see that the fridge is connected to the server around here, but it's also connected to a shadow server.
Okay.
And this shadow server seems to be running off of the programming of the world system as it was previously set up.
Oh. And I kind of I'm gonna whisper that to James and then put down my sandwich back in the fridge.
So I'm going to take the boxes off of our generic hunks, and I'm going to start to carry it to the fridge, and I'm going to try to make an interface roll with the fridge.
All right, roll.
All right.
You're a dad. You know machines. This should be fun.
Well, you see, the thing is that I do have a very fancy fridge in my house. The problem is that it's more aspirational. So, like, any of the, I use it as a regular fridge, but I don't use any of the fancy tech with it or anything. It's just supposed to be, it's just supposed to look expensive.
You don't tweet from your fridge.
It was product placement that you had to do.
Yeah. So, basically that just loosely translates to I rolled a fucking 4.
Oh.
And I'm poking out and I'm poking at the screens and stuff. It's like, these newfangled refrigerators, I mean, hey, I just used mine to keep my very light beer cold that we only take out for barbecues.
Anyone who's actually good at interface want to roll?
Well, what did you get on your roll?
I got a 4.
Okay. As you're trying to find that out and you're trying to mess with the buttons, you've accidentally broken the refrigerator.
Uh-oh.
And so now it is more of it's going to swamp up in there really fast.
Oh.
And our good friend, the French chef, Steve DiCaprio, off-brand Sanchi, says, "Hey, what are you doing? That's my fridge. It's very advanced, and you shouldn't be messing with it."
I'm sorry. I was trying to just help. I was trying to help with the deliveries. Be a good neighbor, and you know how us dads can be with technology.
You broke my fridge. Why would you break the fridge?
I slam my fist on the counter. Because your fridge is a criminal.
What? Kay?
Uh,
What do you mean?
Weird.
So
What?
I point at the fridge accusingly in my best Phoenix Wright pose, and I say, "This fridge is responsible for all of the crimes in this area. We've tracked this shipment all the way here, and it's the only weak link. As you can see, it was so weak it didn't even stand up to some very thorough investigating." And my dog barks.
When the dog barks, I jump into the air.
And then he catches you.
In hopes that someone catches me.
The dog does.
The dog catches me? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what you mean. It is a very normal fridge. And he opens up, and this techno-organic food starts to pour out and glob onto his body as he starts to transform into a hulking barbarian made out of techno-organic food. So imagine your generic dystopian warlord.
Oh, God.
But it's made out of food.
Jeepers!
And it smells awful.
I pull out my gun.
I see. This is a problem.
I pull out my gun. No, I don't have a gun.
I'm still trembling and being held.
I put on lipstick. It's getting serious.
You're going to stun him into submission.
Okay, so yeah, tell me what y'all want to do.
Oh boy. We're in a kitchen, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to animate all the kitchenware.
Like, straight up be our guest.
Basically.
Yes.
all the forks, all the knives, all the plates, all the pans.
Be our guest in hell!
All right.
Be our guest, Cthulhu is the best.
Roll me plus influence.
So that is a 5 plus 1, 6.
Okay, so like parts of your body sort of like slough off because that's how you like control and animate these things.
Basically, I do to the fucking kitchenware what the food did to this guy.
Oh.
Well, you try to. The problem is that Steve here keeps a very clean kitchen and it's disinfected, and so as your like inner flesh gets onto it, it just withers and dies because you rolled a 6.
Alas.
Oh no.
It is too clean.
You have taken a major injury from this because you basically lost the equivalent of a hand.
Ow.
Trying to animate this ineffectively.
Alright, so how do I damage?
You're just going to put down major. It's sort of a loose sliding scale.
I see. Okay, yeah, injuries major.
Yep, so who wants to go next?
Even though I pulled out my gun, I'm just gonna like put it in my belt for a second, and I'm gonna try to give a dad speech at him.
All right, roll to try and influence this thing.
Please don't fail me now. Double 1.
Your talking is unsuccessful, and he is going to try and attack you. You are going to, I assume, try and avoid?
Yeah.
Roll me plus physique.
I got a -1 on physique. It's not good. I rolled another 2.
Jeez, and that's a -1 because your physique is very bad.
3 minus 1, yeah.
Oh, okay. Still, that is very bad. You're trying to talk, and he just slams a fist of horrifying mechanical food into your mouth. You have a major infection now that you'll need to try and find a solution to.
Okay.
That is enough to actually get me going, and I say, well, that really dulls my claws, and I'm going to pull out a giant cartoon hammer.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to try to take it to the body of this thing.
Yeah, roll plus physique.
Do I get any bonuses from my giant cartoon hammer?
You'll get an additional +1.
Heck yeah. Well, that's great, because I rolled an 11.
So you like take your hammer and you swing it back and you bonk it.
So what happens is I go do that, and then I there's some triumphant music playing, and then I like flex, and there's surprisingly a lot of muscle, and I go roar, and then I hit.
Yeah, you hit it, and like cartoony physics come into play, so he like gets smashed down and then like pops back up, and you hear a springing noise, and like bits of the flesh or bits of the weird infected food fly off, and like they hit the cleaned tables and just shrivel up and die.
Let no one say I'm just a little pussycat.
Yay!
And Paulette.
I think Paulette is looking, and like maybe things have gotten like a little messed up with that big slam, and Taffy is growling.
She's doing her lipstick, and like just a trail goes off.
No, it would never. How dare you? Slander, libel.
Yep, roll plus influence to order Taffy to attack.
No, that's not what I was doing.
Oh, go ahead.
Got interrupted. Taffy is growling, but she holds her hand up and says, "Not now. We gotta get to the heart of the matter." And she looks at the creature and says, "Steve, I know you're in there somewhere. Just like when my ex-lover was in a drug-fueled rage state from the cartel drugs they were doing, and also the embezzlement charges."
Were you on Dallas?
I look at you and you're like, "You don't know my life." I look back at Steve. And I say, "Steve, don't let this terrible influence ruin the life you worked so hard for, little Captain Kirky there. And I know you're in there, strong, proud, a real man's man. I know you can fight back against this creature. Remember who you are and how hard you've worked." And then I snap I like dust a little bit of debris off my suit. I'm like making myself like look as important and stern and.
Yeah. Roll plus influence.
So I rolled a 9 and it's a +3, so I got a 12.
Yep. So you see Steve's eyes like turn into hearts as more of the flesh sloughs on him. He says, "Oh, Paulette, I love you so much. I got to break this off of me." But then more of it sort of crawls over his mouth to try and control him.
And I go, Steve, no!
And we are back up
Like the only one controlling his mouth is me.
to the top of the line. So anybody who wants to do something, feel free.
I mean, my next move is to try to kiss him, so you want to do
Oh,
that
yeah.
first.
Yeah, I think I want to see if I can hit him with the hammer again, but specifically with the purpose and intent of making him exhale so hard that whatever he has in his mouth, it goes flying.
To free his luscious lips.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, like right in the
For the
gut.
smooches.
Yeah.
All right. Roll plus physique.
Okay. Oh.
Is it good?
3.
Ooh.
You try and slam.
But he's welcomed me to the jam.
And a jar of jam gets in your way.
This time, the techno food grabs the hammer and yanks it out of your hands. You have lost use of the hammer until you're able to reclaim it.
Oh no!
I want to use my gun to try to like shoot at the tendril that's holding the hammer.
Mm-hmm. Roll plus influence first.
I rolled at 9 plus 2, 11.
Okay, you are able to successfully avoid the food that is trying to control you. I think you're able to spit it out here. And then you take a shot at the tendril.
Okay.
And part of it is weakened, but it has not fully dropped the hammer.
Okay.
Perhaps it is time to fry the cook. And I would like to invoke lightning as a launch assault, I believe, or
No, that'd be open fire.
open fire. All right, yes.
Or no, that would be launch assault. So yeah, roll plus physique.
All right, cool. Double 5s. That's a 10 plus 1, 11.
Oh, that is very good.
Heck yeah.
So yeah, you are able to shoot flames out of this, sort of like all the heat that you've been trying to repel by keeping yourself cold is launched and reversed into heat. That fries him so he looks like he's got hamburger that has like weird microchips sticking out of it, and he breaks off of it, shucking more of this horrifying skin that is controlling him.
Haha, I have made normal human joke.
And Paulette, you wanna wrap this thing up?
Yeah. I think Paulette strides forward and says, I knew you as a man, and that's what I still believe you are. But if you keep this up, we have no choice but to enforce litigation of love. And I grab the side of his mushy meko face and I go to kiss him, and I think it like peels back a little bit and his lips come out.
All right, Romy plus physique.
8, and I have +1, so it's 9.
And I'll give you a +1 more because you have your very impressive suit on.
Yeah, and I did just put lipstick on, so
Yeah.
that's pretty important.
And so you kiss him.
Mhm.
And the
camera spins around us slowly.
And the remaining techno food that is on him explodes off as he does that very anime ecstatic jump in the air. His eyes are full on hearts and says, "Oh, the kiss, it has freed me from this evil. Oh, thank you."
I have to tell you, the number one man in my life is always going to be Taffy, and there's no changing that. Taffy barks. Ooh.
They call it puppy love.
I see. This beautiful woman has gone to the dog.
And then I slap him. And I kiss him. I slap him again. Just to make sure. I don't know what I'm making sure of, but...
You're treating my heart like leftovers being turned into 2 different meals. I understand we cannot be together, but you shall always remain in my heart.
And you in my Rolodex. And I slide his card into my business suit.
Well, I believe if my fridge is the problem, I shall have to order a new one. After I do this, and he lifts up a leg and he slams it all the way through the fridge, breaking it in half.
Classic.
There you go.
Yeah.
I remain stoic, but I blush.
That is what I do for kicks.
Haha, that is a human joke.
Last time I saw legs those powerful, I was in Vegas.
I'm not going to make a joke, but I'm going to say, I think... I think... I think the lesson that we've all learned today is that no matter what kind of awful, horrible disease you have, as long as you have the support and love of a family, whether it's been entirely fabricated by a bunch of tech bros back on Earth, or a business lady, an abomination, and whatever Bekhee is,
Normal human.
then we can make it through anything.
I have a feeling that I didn't make it out on top in that list.
You seldom do. Wink, 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 wink.
Wink, wink, wink.
We clink glasses.
And clink glasses.
And then the end credits roll with too many cooks.
Do we all get to like high five and hop in the air as a freeze frame?
And end. You've been listening to RPG Pals Club, playing the Cinematic Universal, a setting created by me, Luke Hare, using the Uncharted World system. You can find more about that if you Google Uncharted World. RPG Pals Club posts twice a month on the 1st and the 15th of the month. If you would like to support us, we have a Patreon, which, as of our recording on this, has no backers. For as little as $1 a month, you can get early episodes, theoretically. My name is Luke. I am the Dungeon Master. You can find me on Twitter at Koltreg. That's Koltreg. I also host the Multiversal Q podcast, where we are covering the Ultimate Universe and recently did a big documentary-style retrospective on Ultimatum. And I am also doing a free-to-listen-to podcast where my partner and my co-host Devin watch every Nicolas Cage movie and talk about it. It's called The Unbearable Weight of Nicolas Cage. Find that at my Patreon, or I'll probably have a link up for it to not have to listen to it on there by the time this goes up.
I'm Madison Rowan. You can find me on Twitter at QuipsterRecrew. Quipster spelled Quipster. And I'm on RPG Pals Club, yes, you have heard. And any other projects I will be on will be posted on my Twitter.
I've been Eric, aka Rhythm Bastard. You can find everything I'm working on my website, rhythmbastard.rocks. Because I rock so hard, I have to put it in the URL. You can also support me by buying my music on rhythmbastard.bandcamp.com and support me every month where I'm releasing new tracks at patreon.com/rhythmbastard. You can also find me as part of the 3000 Brigade and on the podcast I'd Rather Not.
I've been Gar Atkins, but you can call me Sahoni, and you can find me on my Twitter at Sahoni_stuff. That's SAHONI_stuff. You can also catch me on my other podcast, Barking Points Memo, which is a weekly current events comedy podcast where we look at the news and yell about it, but, in funny ways. You can also check out my Twitter and keep an eye on that for development news for tabletop games that I design. My current project is Exceptionals, a narrative-focused RPG inspired by X-Men about the spaces and communities marginalized people make for themselves. And I am currently in editing and art, and I've been doing live streams with them, and the best place to learn about those is my Twitter.
I'm Gina Dazer. You can find me on Twitter at ADASER. That's a Dazer, like laser, but with assistant directors. I do illustration and sometimes game designs and sometimes cookbook stuff. I'm doing a whole bunch of stuff, and all of it's secret. Just kidding. I say everything online. I don't have much to say except Black Lives Matter and fuck Nazis.
Black Lives Matter.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck Nazis.
Black Lives Matter.
Fuck TERFs, but don't have sex with them.
Also, trans rights.
Trans rights.
General, don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
Just don't.
We'll put a brick through your window.
That wraps us up for this week. Next time, I hope we'll all be back to normal RPG Pals Club, but we will see you then.
Free oi.
Peace.